All right, we're going to get started. And really, this is kind of an impromptu, open forum talking about events. And the reason I really wanted to start talking about this together is one, introduce newer consultants to the opportunity of events because we know through COVID, we've been a year and year and so many months in COVID where events haven't been something we've been able to go and do. So I wanted to touch on some topics, where to find them, how to kind of figure out what kind of event you want to do, what do you bring. We can go as in depth or as just surface as you guys want to, according to the questions that you have. But with things opening up, and I'm in Iowa, I know everybody's area is different. With things opening up more, I am finding events. I'm having people reach out to me. I've been doing this 9 years. People reaching out to me, and I'm also finding events that I can participate in. Now, events are a good part of your business. They typically should never be your bread and butter unless you are going to be doing them full time and investing a lot into them. How I have done it throughout my years with Posh is I follow the party theme, meaning that parties are my bread and butter. And for me as a leader, 3 to 4 parties are my goal for the month, and one event, always one event. Of course, that changed over COVID and we are more Facebook driven, but we're seeing this shift, you guys. We're really seeing this shift this month with kids getting out of school, things opening back up. People are going off online a little bit more and going more to out and about things. And we're going to talk about events that you can be at that these people will be wanting to go attend. But so, like I said, events shouldn't be your main focus. They should be where you are focusing to get out into your cold market. Okay. So, your warm market are people you currently know, your hostesses, your customers. Cold market are people you don't know. And the best way to get your name out there and to meet these people are doing events. Okay. I've been introduced to so many amazing people through just doing events. So the first question people ask is, where do you find an event? Where do you find an event? Well, as you get going into your business, a lot of times people will start finding you. Okay. They'll start asking you. But when I first started out, I used the newspaper. I used that was before like Facebook was really popular. I'd use the newspaper, I'd look at local events going on, I'd use the Chamber of Commerce. I would ask other friends that I knew that have been in the direct sales, MLM network for a while or used to be, what they're doing, where are they going, what would they recommend, do they have any connections for me. Those were really how I first started off doing it. And I started off with very small events. And I always encourage everyone, do not start with the events that are $1,000 a full weekend. If you're just starting with events, you're going to want to start small in that 25 to $75 zone is usually pretty good. Okay. But when you're looking for them, and I'm going to show you because I was playing with this today. Let me screen share. Another way you can look for them, and I was popping through kind of seeing what was going on. If you go onto Facebook, let me get it to load, and you go to events on Facebook, your area, if you have it set up for your area, it will have lists of things that are going on. Let me get rid of this. list of things that are going on. So as you can see, I could come to my area and I can start looking at what events are going on, when are they going on, okay? Uh, Rock the Chalk 2021, August 6th. Okay, maybe I want to look in that. It's Iowa City, it's 30 minutes away. I can click on this and I can start figuring out if they will have vendors. So it does take a little legwork at first as you cruise through these. But if they're going to have like artists, sometimes they'll let vendors come in there. These are the kind of things I'll be looking at. I'll be looking at farmers markets. And again, everybody's area is different. Some farmer markets will let DS and MLM, some won't. Okay, they just want homemade goods. Farmers markets, fairs, festivals. Those are all things that'll be going on over this summer. This right here is a festival, okay? So what you would just do is spend some time going through your local events, what's going on. You're going to want to look probably a little farther ahead, but look for those things that, here's like a bourbon and blues fest. We have a meet me at the market. You just kind of have to cruise and start looking. But this is a great way to start getting into an event, okay? Figuring out what's going on. If you don't have any good connections, a lot of times, even I don't think it's bad, if every once in a while, I've done it before. I've went on my personal Facebook page and I'll be like in search of local events that I can share Posh at. And because I've networked with so many different other people and built those relationships, they will give me ideas. Hey, I've done this event. This event was good. This event wasn't so good. And those are the things that we'll talk about as far as what to ask. Okay. So, first off, it's finding the event. Do we have any questions about finding the event? Make sure I covered those. Local Chamber of Commerce, Facebook searches, local direct sales and networking, family and friends that run businesses. Look at like your local, like we have like at our Casey's, our Casey's store will have a bulletin board up of things going on. A lot of times you'll find events there. Churches have a lot of events, kind of little networking groups. Just really start paying attention to those. Again, like I said, the main part of an event is you're going to share Posh with new people. You want to network with the other vendors there. You're going to make new connections. You want to book parties. You want to sponsor new team members. And there's that possibility of selling Posh to people. Now, one of the things that people ask me is how much stock do I need? You can do events without stock. Actually, it's not that hard because your main reason of doing the event is to meet new people. I typically will meet more people than I will sell Posh. That's why I say when you're starting out, the investment needs to be in that 25 to 75 because you have to sell a lot of Posh to make up 25 to $75, okay? But you can book parties, sponsor new team members, and in the long run, that's going to pay you back for that event fee, okay? Questions on that? County fairs are another one. Job fairs, craft shows. Now, bridal shows, think about what they're there to do. My experience with bridal shows, I know people find it very exciting that we have the perfect product for that. Bridal shows give you a lot of contacts, but I'm going to tell you from experience, bridal shows don't typically have a good return on investment. they're there to get the free stuff. They're there to figure out what is good for their wedding. And unless you're really captivating on what you're offering, those are very expensive and just don't have a huge return on the investment. And those are things you can ask people when you're looking at events. Okay. Where were I have questions for you? Okay. So when you're doing your homework for an event, okay, um, you want to ask other people. You can even ask the event coordinator, do you have someone that's done this for a few years? Would you mind giving me their name? They will, depends. And so you can contact that person or ask on Facebook if anybody's done this event. Really do a little bit of homework on the event. If you're paying $25, you want to make it worth your while. $75, make it worth your while. If it's more than that, you can even consider partnering with another team member. That's always a great way, especially if you get into bigger events. Me and Morgan used to partner in our larger events. We would split the everything even down the middle. Our who we got for contact information, um, what the booth fee was, what we made. But then as those events got more expensive, we could split the cost of those. So you can always split the cost. Some things to ask the event coordinator when you're looking into an event would be, is this the first time event? Typically, sometimes first time events can be really good. Sometimes they're a little chaotic. So you may want to figure out, is this the first time they've held this event? Okay. And then you can kind of gauge if it's worth your investment. How well was the event marketed? Okay. So what are they doing to market the event? That's a huge one. I have, through experience, and you guys, I'm just giving you my experience. I would pay a little bit more for an event that I know and can see that they are going out and handing out flyers. They are putting it on the radio station. They're making the effort to market it, than to pay $25 for them to say it's marketed by you. You have to share it to your friends and family. You have to share it to the people you know. Now, I don't mind doing that from time to time. And I will share where I'm at and what I'm doing. But if an event solely relies on the vendors bringing in people, I'm a little cautious. So kind of ask them, who's it marketed to? How are they marketing? Kind of get a feel of what they're doing for the event. And you'll kind of know, like if they've done it more than 1 year, you can ask them, what's the typical attendance? How many people do they typically have walking through the door? So things like that are good things to ask the event coordinator. Other one is, how many vendors will be in attendance? With that also goes, do you make sure there's only one company, or same company, same one rep for every company, meaning there's not gonna be multiple perfectly posh reps there. Typically smaller events will not have multiple posh members there, but just to make you feel good, I would always ask, do you make sure there's not more than one? You could even go into, hey, I sell bar soaps, lotions. Is there going to be multiple different vendors in this small church place, all selling lotions and bar soaps? Ask the questions. You need to know those things because you're investing the money. This is your business. So don't be afraid to ask the questions, ask other people about it, and really get information on whether this event's going to be good for you. Okay. So finding events, asking the questions. Okay. And now we're going to prep for the event. What are some tips that I can give you as far as doing events goes. So with events at your booth, you always want to, so typically from my experience, when I'm doing an event, I like to keep it very simple. Okay, so I use the acronym KISS. If you saw my other video, KISS. Keep it super simple. You want it simple so that people are not getting overwhelmed. I like to also create an experience. Okay, what do I mean by an experience? When they come to my table, I have something that they can try or experience. I mean, you can go as easy as just having your hand creams. We call those gateway Posh because when people try them, they fall in love with them. You could have your hand creams. I used to always have a hand cream or a hand scrub station. I would have a lip scrub station, which right now we don't have lip scrubs. And then I would have something other, maybe a seasonal experience. That's at a bigger vendor event. Okay. At a smaller one, I'm going to keep it just maybe a Posh to meet you set. We're talking about bar soaps, hand creams, lip balms. Like I said, you want to give them the experience, but you're also making connections with them in hopes of booking parties or expanding your team, especially if you're not carrying stock at the event, but you do want to bring them in for an experience. There's so much to talk about, so please ask questions if I'm not hitting on things to help you. When you do a booth, and I have that recording in our guide section, when you do a booth, you want to keep it super simple and you want to keep it very, very clean. You want to dress professionally. That doesn't mean you need to be in a suit and pantyhose like Mary Kay, but you need to make yourself look presentable. Don't come in a hoodie with it over your head with your cell phone, thinking that you're going to bring people to your table. Okay. Table covering is a must. If you can get a personalized table covering or a way to present to people, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, you want a banner or your tablecloth. Now, I always talk to people about simple ways that don't cost a lot of money. So things like going to the dollar store or the cheaper area. This is just a picture frame. Picked up a cheap picture frame and I pick things to focus on. So this one says, what is perfectly posh? And it shows some of the products. It has, this is from last year, as you can tell, so I'm gonna have to update it. But it has hand creams, body butters, skincare, soaps. This is when we had Defiant. So something like this can easily be printed off and put in a nice frame, put on your table as an easy way for them to see, you know, what is perfectly posh, you know, without exactly just coming up to you. And you can do these for join information for your giveaway. I always recommend to have a giveaway at your table, and we'll talk a little bit about how I do those. But presentation can be super easy with just picture frames and printing off things and putting them in there. Okay, especially if you can't afford a banner right now, or you can't afford a personalized table covering that says perfectly posh. This stuff works. You just got to be a little bit more creative with it, but putting any kind of signage in frames works really, really well. Other things, let's see. Let's talk about giveaways and themes. So typically when I go and do a vendor event, I will theme it on something that wraps around whatever the event's about. So if it's a strawberry festival or if it's a women's business conference, I'm going to theme the experience and the things I offer to that event. Okay. So for my Iowa Women Lead Conference, when I do that, my theme is on hand creams. Okay. because busy women, non-greasy hand creams, I know they're going to love it. So in the bathrooms at the conference, I always have a little sign up that says try me. And it says for best hands around, Perfectly Posh's Big Fat Yummy Hand Creams is non-greasy, fast absorbing hand cream that will leave your hands feeling soft, silky, nourished without having to let them dry. Come visit me at the Perfectly Posh booth for more information. So this simply sits in the bathroom with a couple big fat yummy hand creams that they can test on their own. This has been an amazing addition to my vendor events, no matter if it's a women's conference, a fair, a festival, because people try them in the bathroom and then they come search me out. Okay. So thinking outside the box of ways to create an experience or get the product on them, things like this can be very helpful. This is just a cheap old, I didn't invest a lot in it, those plastic thing, because it goes in the bathroom. And then a little try me thing, both sides. I put some business cards in there. And my recommendation is only put 1 to 2 half full big fat yummy hand creams in there. People tend to leave the half full ones and let other people use them. But if I put brand new ones in there, they tend to lift them. So just don't put 6 out there and expect them all to stay. Know that they may get taken. But for the most part, the experience that they get from this in the bathroom, bring them to my booth. Okay. So this is a way to draw them to your booth. Other things, we talked about the experience. What are you going to offer there? Are you going to do a hand scrub station? Are you going to do what's your experience you want them to do at the table? Because that's the thing you're going to want to focus. Hey, would you like to try our 3-step system or our 1-step system or whatever you're doing to draw them in? Another thing to help draw them in is have a giveaway or a drawing. Now, when you're doing a giveaway or a drawing, have signage up and you can pick what you do. You could do simply win a free pampering session with you and 6 other friends. Sign up to win today. What are you doing? You're getting them to host a party. So everybody that signs up is a winner of a free pampering session with 6 of their friends. Okay. If you don't want to be a little sly like that, do a giveaway, put like an example of a $25 or a $50 set, whatever you want to do up, and say enter to win a $50 product credit from me. Okay. So if you're doing a drawing, this is where you're getting the contact information. So things like this, little clipboards with door prize drawing slips on them are super important. Now, here's the trick. Here's the little trick tip, okay? When they're doing the door prize drawing, either you're going to direct them, hey, would you like to sign up? Or they're walking through and they see this and they fill this out. Do not put the bucket. Do not put the door prize entry on your table. Have them look for it. And when they're looking for it, you're going to say, hey, did you fill out the door prize drawing? I'd love to kind of know, create conversation with them, get their door prize drawing, look at it, talk about anything that's on here, what they looked at, maybe get them to try your experience at your table. And before they leave, you take this and you put it in your door prize drawing behind the table. Okay. At that time is when I will write myself notes on the back. She was with 2 kids, anything to jog your memory. Because I can tell you, after you're standing at a booth, let's say you have to be there for 6 hours, every woman that filled this out or male that filled this out will probably all go together in your brain. So you make notes before you put it in your door prize drawing. Okay, so those are just tips on how to make the most of your drawing. Okay, of course, fortune is in the follow up, and you're going to want to follow up sooner than later with these. These aren't like sending samples out where you send the samples out. You got to give it time for the mail to get there. You want to give them time to try it a little bit before you first check in. Events are, you want to get it while you're still in their head, while they're still like, oh yeah, I remember stopping by there and filling that out. And if you make notes like she took a sample with her, that's the other thing. You're going to be able to say, hey, on the follow up, hey, Sarah, I just wanted to say thank you for stopping by my booth. It was a joy to meet you. You could have your winner of your drawing already. Say, our winner of our drawing was Becky. She earned the spa or $25 gift certificate. But I wanted to check in on your samples. What did you think of the BFF sample I sent with you? So that's the importance of this drawing slip, okay? It's going to be kind of like your brain by the end of the day. So big thing is have your drawing out, have a giveaway to pull people in, have them fill this out, create a conversation, have them do an experience on your table, have them give you their entry form so that you know you've created that contact relationship, beginning relationship with them. You make notes on it and then you put it in your door prize drawing. Okay. If they make a purchase, that would be important to put on their door prize drawing too, because you're going to want to follow up with that purchase. It's finding routines that work for you. But for me, these entry forms are better used if I take them, they don't just put them in the bucket. Does that make sense? Where do you get your okay. So we used to have these on the portal. So let me talk to Allie about that because we are working on some on-demand stuff. I have also printed them off. We should have them in the asset library. I'll look on Posh Crew, but I have printed them off and cut them or used them on a 4-sheet perforated sheet. And this one, and you can get as elaborate as you want. I've seen people put stuff about skincare on them. I typically keep them super basic. But this one just has name, address, phone number, email. So again, when you take this form, if they don't have a phone or an email here, you kind of need that to contact them. And you can often say, hey, I noticed that you put a phone and an email here. Do you have a preferred method of contact? And then you can create conversations that way. We may have, Jessica said, didn't we have drawing slips templates in the Avery account? We may. I just have to look. It's been a while since I've printed them off because I have so many of these, but we may have them in the Avery. So that's one thing I can look for you guys is door prize drawing slips. Okay. So you have a giveaway, you have an experience, your table is clean, you're professionally presentable, you stand, you engage, you're not on your phone, you really are excited to be there and share Posh. Your table looks nice. You have maybe a picture frame that talks about the special that you're offering. Like at my Iowa Women Lead Conference, I do a special that is 3 hand creams for $28. It's a $2 savings. When I'm buying stock, I'm bundling. So I do 3 hand creams for $28. So I would have a sign up of that so that they know that's the event special. Okay. I may have a sign up that talks about hosting and all of the things that my host can earn, or what our hostess rewards is. And you can have a starter kit box out with everything. Our starter kit right now is so amazing. That presented on the table very nicely is going to draw people's attention. Someone's coming to that table and they're spending $105, and they look over and they see this starter kit here that is triple what they bought for 105, and they actually are really excited and loving what they're seeing. You have a chance to plant a seed about the opportunity and joining. Okay, if that visual's not there, we're very visual people, us women. Sometimes it does, a picture doesn't do it justice. So putting a starter kit out is always good. Anna, I have seen them somewhere, maybe, okay, in your group. Well, one of us will find it. Okay, one of us will find it. So other things to consider, and I will, because I don't want to take all your time, I will come back and I'll post this for Saturday, and then I'll come back and do kind of an open forum talking. But I just wanted to present a few things. As far as your table presentation goes, we talk about bed risers. If you don't know what bed risers are, they're in my guide section video. They go underneath your table, they elevate your table, they make it at a better presentable level for an adult. So that's really good. You can also consider having fun little treats at your table. That's a great draw in. Maybe suckers or stickers or something fun like that. Sometimes I'll do mini rubber ducky giveaways, draws kids in, keeps them busy while mom's looking. But having something like that at your table is a super great thing. Another thing, catalogs. Don't just lay all your catalogs out. Okay, catalogs cost you money. If you're gonna just lay catalogs out, keep your old catalogs, and on the front put something in regards to check me out, see what you love, then trade me in for a new catalog. I have better wording for that. I'll have to find my wording. Let's see if I can find it right here. Have your old catalog sitting out and have them labeled. The label saying something catchy like, although this catalog is old, take one look and you will be sold. Contact me for a new catalog. So you have your old catalogs out there. So if someone's just walking by and grabbing the catalog and doesn't look at it and throws in the garbage, you're not out as much. Okay. Now, if they look at it and they engage with you, I have a pile of those good catalogs behind me that I'm going to give to people that are interested in what they're looking at and what they're doing. So you have the new catalogs there, you just don't lay them out, or have a little sheet that says, ask me for a catalog. We've been talking about QR codes, okay? Putting those on a sign, scan me for my digital catalog. All great things, okay? I could go in a million different directions, you guys. So ask specific questions if I'm not hitting them. Testers. When you have testers out, you have them labeled. You will also want wet wipes, spatulas, or you can use craft sticks. Those are cheaper. Q-tips, things that are able to be used once and thrown away, okay? You don't want to having everybody manhandle things. You could even get to the point that if they want to try it, you scoop it out for them or you press it. But staying very, very clean and professional with the things on your table. Okay. I didn't grab right now, but you can use like candle votives, the glass candle votives, or I've picked these up at like Staples, these little bins. They're just here. their little bins, and I will put my spatulas in here next to the items that are testing, and I'll put a section for them to put their garbage in. So if I'm not watching, I would hope that they would see this thing full of spatulas in this place for them to put their dirty ones, and they would use the spatula to test. Okay, that's not true for everyone. Fairs and festivals can get very weird, but just you want to provide as much clean things as you can. I always have wet wipes everywhere. Okay. One of the other things I talked about displaying, keep your stock. If you put it on your table, keep your stock back, put your testers more forward, make sure it's very distinctly noticeable. So typically I will use charger plates. You can get these at Hobby Lobby in all different colors. And I will use charger plates to put my testers on, okay? So they're very distinguishable what are testers and what are not, okay? So charger plates are good for that. Let's see. Okay, next thing. When you go, and I am going to provide you guys with this sheet right here. This is kind of a checklist sheet. Not all of these will be, you'll have to apply to a small event. I use these a lot of times at bigger events, so I make sure I don't forget things. And this thing lists things like Posh table drape, decorative table runner, bed risers, catalogs, samples, business cards, business opportunity info. So I wanted to talk about that. When you go to an event, there's a lot of prep beforehand. We've talked about pink packets, opportunity packets, so that when someone's looking at that starter kit and they're super interested, you have information to give them right then and there. If someone wants to book a party, you have hostess packets underneath. You want to get them on your books, get their contact information, get them a hostess packet. If you say, let me contact you after this event's over to book your party, I am guessing you won't get a party booked. When you can put that stuff in their hands with a few extra samples and keep the energy and excitement going because you're prepared and ready to go, you will get those bookings and keep those bookings a lot easier. Okay, so you want your pink packets. I usually, depending on the size of the event, have 2 to 4 pink packets. And then for my hostess packets, same thing. I always set a goal for myself to book at least 2, 4, just depending on how big or how long my event is. And I will make up enough hostess and opportunity packets for the goal I've set for myself for that event. Okay. Sales will come, but again, your focus is on expanding your network, meeting new people, sharing Posh, and building a new relationship with people you've never met. Okay. So that's why stock is kind of important, but not important, just depending on your event. The other thing with this checklist is use it if you do an event. Keep track of how much you sell, what you sell, because the next time you do the event, you're going to better be able to prepare for that event because you know what went well and what didn't. Okay. If that event was crappy, I may give it one more try, right? But I usually do a 3 strikes, you're out. By the third time, if it's a bomb, second to third time, if it's a bomb, I'm not going to keep doing it. Okay. I'm going to move on. Yes, I will get the checklist up on Posh Crew so that you guys all have it. But again, like I said, some of the stuff may not apply to you, but it's a very good reminder to go through it when you're packing up for the event so you don't forget. It even goes over like outdoor events needing kind of a covering and things like that. So let's see, let's make sure. So we talked about finding events, talking to the event coordinator, how to present things, a few tips on presenting things on your table, how to draw people in different ways. And then things to have on hand and be prepared for, okay? There's always a lot of do's and don'ts, and I always think these are funny, but they're always a great reminder for everyone, is do stand in front of your booth and talk to people. Now, 9 years of experience. Yes, there are times I have stood in front. There has been times where certain events that just didn't work for me. Did I sit down behind my booth? No, but I presented myself in a different part of my booth than right directly in front of people walking by. I wanted them to kind of meander in, check things out, and you get the feel of your the people coming in when you've done a few vendor events. Okay, I always hear people say, stand in front of your booth. Yeah, stand in front of your booth, engage with people, but in all honesty, be authentic. I don't like to walk up to a booth where someone's standing there going to throw a hand cream in my hand and throw things at me. I want to authentically walk up to the booth, start looking at things, and have a delightful conversation with the consultant or whoever is there. Okay, so put yourself in the shopper's feet. Okay, but don't sit behind your booth and cover your head and be on your Facebook or whatever. It says don't sit in your chair and wait for them to come to you. Again, it's engagement, it's being authentic, it's having reasons that they would want to come to your booth. Do call your leads. Of course, we just talked about that. Fortune is in the follow-up. So it's not put it off, put it off, put it off. It's get on it as soon as that event is done. And don't talk yourself out of it that you're bugging them because you've created this relationship, beginning relationship with them. It's your responsibility to make sure you follow up. Doing that by saying, hey, do you have a preferred method of contact is a great way. Having points that you've written down to talk to them about or that you talk to them about will make it more authentic for you and less icky, right? Put your phone away when you're there. Be engaged with what's going on and who's there. Don't text or Facebook from your booth the entire time. Do have a sign at your booth that says join my team or a starter kit or something that presents. Some people don't know what you do, okay? Or that that's even an option. So having that there is important. Do make the best out of your event, even if there is low attendance. So again, that's where networking with other consultants there, they're not your competition. They are people that you can collaborate with, learn from, find more events from, get tips on what events they've done or how they've made this one better, or if this one's always been trashy and they probably won't come back either. You have those candid, fun conversations with, and you really get to know people at vendor events. So take advantage of that. Don't forget to get to know other vendors and leave your business card with them because they are going to be a great asset to your business later. Do your homework so there are no surprises when you arrive at the event. You know what to expect. You've asked the questions. Don't eat at your booth, okay? Take that lightly. There are times you have to, if you can't step away to eat or go to the restrooms. There's times I've eaten at an event where I've been there for 12 hours for 3 days straight. You have to eat, but you make it very, very professional. Maybe put it behind, take a bite when no one's at your booth, things like that. But typically don't eat at your booth. Do work smarter, not harder. Okay. Use those things to draw people in. Let your booth draw people in. Let the actions and the things that you have going on, the experience, the things in the bathroom draw people in. We've even, for large events, we had my little niece at our Back to 50s event. This is a very expensive 3-day event. We did these little cards that said, stop by the Perfectly Posh booth for a free sample. I had old samples. We had totes of old samples. She would just hand these out at this car show. It was 3 days long. It was tons and thousands of people. She would hand these out, and they would come to our booth, and we would try to engage them in an experience there, create a relationship with them, but we'd also let them pick out of our sample bin. All right. So if you have those old samples, don't throw them away. Put them in a cute big martini glass and have a way to draw people in. Okay. Do talk to people as they're passing by. General conversation. Hey, I love if you see someone that has a cute outfit on, just be authentic and have those conversations with people. Don't judge. You never know who needs your company or products in their life. So be very open to everybody that stops at your booth. Do build a good relationship with the event coordinator. So that means you make sure you follow the rules. That means you set up at this time. You don't tear down till this time. If you want to stay a part of that event, you follow the coordinator's rule. And it just always looks bad when people start tearing down earlier than when the event coordinator says. So you want to build that good relationship so she will want you back, or he. Don't forget to ask to secure your spot for the next year or the next event. And do remember, you are representing your company at your booth, and you always want to be professional. So again, that's a lot of stuff, guys. I covered a lot of different things, and each of those things can be broken down into more little things. We could talk just about table setup. We could talk just about drawing people in. We can talk about presentation. So I want to give you a few seconds here. My dog, I don't know why he's barking. To ask any questions. Do you guys have any specific questions? I know I went over a lot, but I wanted you to be able to kind of have a general knowledge of where to find it, kind of things too. Anything I see. So I'm making a note. We need the door price drawings. And then we need, the checklist. And then I will bump in the guide section under guide for I think it's how to share Posh or something. At the bottom, there's a section on events. It will go over written, some of the things I went over. There's also an older YouTube there. I just watched it. It literally made me want to puke because I was a not very seasoned video recorder, and I was holding it instead of in a stationary tripod. So I made my own self sick watching my recording. So just take some Dramamine before you watch it or something like that. Anything else? Here, let me stop the recording. So for those of you that are here, I'm going to stop the recording. I will have schedule a place or time on our Posh Crew group Facebook for an open forum, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then you can ask any questions if you still have them.